Very good afternoon. So thanks for joining. And today I'm going to discuss about one of the oldest SDLC model, which is named called Waterfall Model. So how we are using in this model in the real-time environment to develop the software. So guys, in general, everybody have understand my previous sessions. So what is meaning of SDLC? Okay. So what are the phases are available? Okay. And especially in DevOps technology, what are the tools and services we are using? That everybody you understand. Okay. But right now, we have a different types of SDLC models are there in the last 50 years. 50. In the last 50 years, we have different types of SDLC models are there. Suppose if you are checking Google types of SDLC models, you will get different types of models you'll see here. Waterfall model, spiral model, design model, iterative and incremental development model, agile modeling, V model. So these RAD model. Okay, these are the models are available right now in the industry. Different companies are using different models. So when you're entering into the company after completing this course, so definitely one of the model they will use it. Maybe if I'm teaching here agile with DevOps technology, maybe agile they will use along with that DevOps technology and tools and services they'll use. Maybe some companies they'll use waterfall models also. Maybe some companies they'll use iterative models also. But majority of the people right now they're using agile modeling and DevOps model. So mostly we will be focusing on these two models in this program, but nowadays there people are asking in interview questions. So can you please explain about waterfall model, how it works, and why waterfall model is failure? Why waterfall model is now we are not using? Why we are not following it? Okay. So these type of questions they'll be asking in interview. Sometimes they'll ask you like a comparison between the waterfall model to spiral model, waterfall model with the iterative model, agile model with the waterfall model. So this type of cross questions also they will ask. But ultimately, if you're learning each SDLC model, how it works, then it will be very fine, right? You can easily answer those questions. Okay. If you explain about the negative, there's a cons, so that will be an answer for you, right? That's not a big deal. So first we need to understand what is meaning of waterfall model. Okay. What is meaning of waterfall model? You can see here waterfall models. We have different web pages. They'll be explaining different story. So mostly guys, you can follow Wikipedia. Mostly you'll get complete information about the product. Okay. So almost 1956 when digital computer era started. So during that time, okay, during that time, the software development was started parallelly. The waterfall model was introduced in the world in 1970s. 1970s. Article by Winston Royce. So this a person was released this model in the to everybody get an idea. So what is meaning of waterfall model? So why we are using in the real-time environment. Okay. So instead of reading all these things, I will explain in detail information about what is meaning of waterfall model. Basically, in the waterfall model, there are different stages are there, phases we called as. So the first phase we called as system and software requirements. System and software requirements. So to develop the particular product, the product requirements we will be maintained in a document that is called system and software requirement. Basically, hardware requirements and software requirement. Okay, hardware requirement and software requirement that we will call as product requirement documentation they'll be taking care. Then analysis. So in analysis, when we are developing, so the requirement we will be clearly cross verify what are the things are there, what you will get result. So the complete analysis will do. So based on that, we'll get some kind of questions again. Then we can cross verify with the clients. Then we can rework on paperwork. Rework on paperwork. Like example, so maybe the statement is incorrect. We can correct ourselves. Then once analysis is over, so everything looks good, then the software architecture we will be doing that. That is creating the blueprint that you know very well. Then here the coding process will start, the development and provisioning of integration of softwares. Finally, they'll test, their operations will start here. The maintenance, migration, installation, support, everything will get started here. This is the overall 6 phases is available. All the 6 phases I have written here. All the 6 phases I have written here. These all 6 phases are one after one will be available. So the same phases available in the traditional software development lifecycle also. But different software development models, these phases are, they'll be changing based on their requirement. Okay? They're changing the order. They're changing their order. Okay, fine. Their wish, right? They're implementing a new idea. If you want, you can utilize it. Otherwise, you can close it. Perfect. So next task is, so in the waterfall model, how look like? Actually, guys, waterfall model is, this is a structure. It's look like a mountain. The waterfall was starting from the top notch of the mountain and it's fall down to the bottom. Right, like this, like this, like this, like this. So, example, in this slope, if I put the water here in the top, so it will be comes down like this. It will cross phase by phase, and finally it reaches to the maintenance. That means the product is successfully working. So for that reason, the waterfall theory was implemented. What do you mean that? Once we started the work, we never turn back. So that will be, finally we will be achieving our goal. That is the reason waterfall model was developed. But in the waterfall model, what are the phases are there? 6 phases. It will be going in top to bottom. And there is no chance, even 0.1%, the work will be reverse from, so back phase. Like example, implement to system design, testing to implementation. No, this will not happen. So every phase is the input of second phase. So the second phase is input of third phase. So like every phase is input to the next phase. So if the first phase is completed, then we'll go for second phase. If the second phase is completed, third phase. Example, in implementation area, it is failed. The remaining everything will get stopped. It will not complete. it will not complete. Okay. So next, if you once anywhere the phase is stopped, the complete cycle will be stopped. Again, we need to start from here. Maybe you are fixing this and you should not continue from here. Then again, you need to start from the requirement analysis. Okay. So that is a main process they'll be following in the waterfall model. Okay. When we are using waterfall model, okay, in what situation we are using waterfall model? When you are recommending to use waterfall model? Yes, we have a different scenarios for that. Let me explain. The first scenario is a project is short. If the project is very small, yes, you can utilize the waterfall model. Next, the complete situation is silent. There is no hurry, so we can go slowly. So it's ideal state. Yes, waterfall model will be suitable for you. Immediately we need an output to get it through waterfall model. No, it is not possible. So what are the tools and technologies if you are using in this particular model? It should be constant. We should not change. Maybe whatever the software and tools we are designed in this phase, I should not stop here. I should not change. Continuously I need to use the same process, same tools, same technology. And next one, your requirements. Whatever your requirements in the software development, that should be constant. Regularly, if you're changing, waterfall model will not support. Completely, whatever the feature you're looking for, the feature should be constant. And what are the resources you are well prepared, then you can utilize it. If resources are not prepared and not ready, no, this waterfall model may leads for failure project. So these are the conditions we can use the waterfall model. Okay? Any questions? No questions? Thank you. The next, advantages of waterfall model. The advantage is the implementing the waterfall model is very simple. The number of resources what we are required for this project, with a minimal effort we can start the building, because the project is very small, means the requirements also small. The requirements are simple and explicitly declared, like entire project development. So then only we can start this project. The entire project should be unchanged during the work. So we have a clear-cut instructions that will be provided in the waterfall model. So we know everything. So the project will get these many days we will be completing. So these many employees are working. So currently this is the phase is currently running. So after this phase, this is the next phase name it is. Clear cut information is available. The waterfall model, it has a clear cut start and ending phases are fixed. Okay. And what is another benefit? Yes. So when we are working on the waterfall model, uh, the control is very easy and very clarity manner. So that's the reason anybody can operate this model. Okay, it's only one job they'll be running. So once you put here, and finally we'll get comes out. But everything is a work only. Okay, this is not automating system to complete all this works. Everybody they'll be participating directly, indirectly doing this project. Okay. Any other question?
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, as you said that yesterday, like for one project, we'll be splitting into three phases. Implementation team will be doing as three phases. In this waterfall model, after merging the three codes, then it will go to implementation, or one by one it will go to implementation.
Can you please give me a more explanation on your question?
Sir, for one to design one project, they'll be splitting into three parts or four parts. Example, as yesterday
Okay,
you
that means
explained.
you are talking about module, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
So after merging the three modules or four modules, then it will go to implementation and testing and deployment, or one by one it goes to implementation, testing, deployment, and the second module implementation, testing, deployment. In that way, it will
Very
go.
good question. Very good question. So basically, when we are project is bigger, we will be converting into small pieces, right? So that we call as units, or maybe we call as modules, huh? That we discussed, huh? In the introduction part.
Yes.
Yes. But in this phase, this waterfall model is not applicable for a major project, first of all. So it's a small projects only it will applicable. So number of units, number of modules are reduced. Okay. So one module you can implement, after that another module you can implement. Finally, we can merge together, then you can deploy the services. Okay.
Okay. You're saying like each module will do separate, like one module system implementation, testing, deployment, and second module implementation, testing, deployment, and again
Finally,
finally
we need
merge.
integrated. Finally, we need to
Finally,
integrate.
integrate again. We do implementation, testing, deployment.
Yes. Yes.
So if
Either we
one
can implement all the models in one flow. That will be a very weird process.
so in that, if one module implementation is failed, so second module again second module they can do implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance.
Yeah, like that. If even one phase is failure, the complete project is get failure. Again, we need to start from the scratch.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? No questions? Good. The disadvantages. Disadvantages is risk factors are high. So this model is not suitable for more significant and complex projects. Okay. So very simple projects we can execute. That's it. Complex projects, significant projects, we cannot execute. Okay. And this model cannot be accept the changes during the implementation, the development. So right now we are in design phase. Right now we are in implementation phase, and we got a call from customer and is asking to change some requirement. So again we need to stop here, and again we have to start from here and implement the new ideas. Again we need to start. Again someone will ask, again we need to stop, again go here. Maybe here somebody is asking to new deployment, we need to stop, again go here, and we need to take the inputs and we need to start here. So repetition bugs is more in case of in between any welcoming changes. Okay, so here we are not welcoming any changes. We are not welcoming any changes here. Clear? And next, is there any chances to go back to the previous phases? Example, right now I'm in testing. So I got a test case. So only one feature is failed. So if I'm informing to the development team, they will modify single line. They will give it, but it is not going back to the back to the implementation phase. Maybe implementation to system not possible. Again, we need to stop from the start. We need to repeating the same steps. Whatever the requirement is needed, again we need to add and we need to start here. Okay. And this waterfall model is not suitable for larger projects. Only small projects will be supported. Any other questions? Pros and cons, and where we are using waterfall model. What is a waterfall model? What are the phases are there? Are you clear? Very good. So guys, here the waterfall module, you have clear cut instructions. It is only one after one. The repetition is not possible here. Maybe if you stop here, again we need to start from the start phase. But one more model was developed, that is called, the next model name called I32 model. I32 model. The I32 model is just same like waterfall model only, but at any point of time you want to go back to the previous stage and we can fix and we can solve the problem, can go to the next phase. So this is called iteration. This is called iteration. So with the iteration, so any unsolved problems we can complete and we can move to the next phase, and finally we can go for maintenance. So you'll get a more information in this particular slide. You can check this. Okay, you can check this. So iteration model. So iteration model, so we have a different type of modules are there, right? So as he discussed just now. So the models maybe in the initial stage when the client is discussed, the requirement will be go for analysis, design, testing, implementation in review. But again in between that, we can welcoming the changes. That means whatever the customer is asking, we can implement those ideas. Okay. Hello. So what we will do, some customer is asking again some feature, they'll take the request and previous iteration results will take and again design the project, again testing and implementation will be going and again go for review. So you can check this waterfall model flow is different and iterative model flow is different. See, design, testing, implementation will be there. So waterfall model, design, implementation, testing. So the phases are differently they'll be changing based on their models. Okay, they're implementing some model. If you need, you can follow that. If you don't like that, you can leave that. Now in the iteration model, example, the second iteration is get completed. So that's a review is input of the iteration 3. Again, design the project, again testing, and go for implementation, and finally go for review. And if review is successfully done, if there is no welcoming changes in the project, so we'll go for deployment and we'll release the version and to maintain the software application in the production environment. We'll start the maintenance, monitoring, maintenance, everything will start here. So this is the iteration process will be there. At any point of time, we'll go back and we can start working together. Okay. Any other question? So now come here, this previous slide. So from this starting phase to ending phase, this will be iterating like this, and based on this process they will follow, we will releasing the software version. If you have a multiple modules are there, if you have a big project, so we can create a multiple builds from the requirement. We can parallelly run this particular software development. We don't want to stop. Parallelly we can run the development. And one more important update. Example, you are planning to start a new project, but you don't have a proper information. You have only few information is there, very small information. With that also, you can start the project and we can gather a requirement and we can analysis and you can start designing the application. So based on again, any other inputs, we can modify because of we already said, right? So in between the user inputs always will take a welcome. Okay. We don't have any problem in that because I32 model was designed like that. So once all the builds are successfully done, so like a iteration model, and finally all the versions will get integrated. The versions will be get released here. Any other question? No? So when we are using this iterative model in real-time environment, so if your project is a big, if the project is big, yes, you can choose this model to develop your software. Next, your project doesn't have any proper information, but you need to start. Yes, iterative model will help you to develop the software lifecycle, even you have a small information. Whenever required, again, we can add the changes. And if your software lifecycle and the features, everything what we are developing, that's if you have a clear-cut vision, so we can use this model. So we are planning to do this software, we are going to implement. So if you have that idea, you can implement like this. What is advantages? So iterative model is accepting, okay, every changes whenever needed in the project. Any changes will be get accepted. So during these multiple iterations, the problems are identification. The problem are easily get identified in this iteration. And also it can be easily fixed that. At the end of the last iteration, okay, so we'll try to solve the more issues on the particular product lifecycle model. So risks are easily identified and resolving the iteration, resolving the during iteration of your issues in the software lifecycle. So in the waterfall model, we are spending a lot of time for creating the documentation because of before you start work. But iteration is not like that. Less document work, we can continuously work on the project, and later also you can parallelly you can write your documentation. And yeah, parallel deployment can be allowed. At a time, multiple phases we can run and we can complete that one. And we can easily accept any kind of changes required in middle of the software development life cycle. So new changes are welcoming. The next is the testing and debugging of any smaller any kind of issues with the iteration level, so we can easily solve those problems. Okay, so these are the advantages. These are the advantages. And disadvantages is it is not suitable for small projects. Okay, it's completely designed for only bigger projects. Smaller project, there is no use. More resources are required for this project. So more employees are working is needed in this project. Design can be changed very rarely, so very frequently. Maybe this will creating some kind of infrastructure level issues. The application, the output maybe get damaged, so that we need to cross verify it. Project completion date is maybe get extended, maybe in case of more iterations, it will lead the extending of a product release. So that's it. These are the disadvantages in the iterative model. These are the disadvantages in the iterative model. Yes, any other questions, please? No questions?